All right, good morning, trade pros. Hello, welcome to the morning market update. Here we are once again in the boot camp. Say hi, guys. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going so far?
Fantastic.
Awesome, that's good. All right, yesterday was a dense day in the boot camp. We got a good rest behind us, and today we're ready to rock it. Today we're actually going to be trading one of the strategies we learned yesterday. We're super excited, and I'm really excited to be here. Hello, Annette. That's awesome. Annette said hi.
Oh, right.
This guy over there says hi. All right, awesome, guys. Let's kick this off. First and foremost, we got to switch gears a little bit. This is not a market event, but it's an important one to me and to everyone around the world. It's been 18 years on this day. It's crazy how fast time flies. I remember I was getting ready to go to school, and I thought a movie was on in the morning. It was pretty dark. It was 18 years ago since the tragic fall of the Twin Towers in New York, and so we figured for this morning market update, in honor and memory of all the people, the lost souls and their families. You got to think a lot of people came together in New York that day. Office workers, anyone who lost their life there, police, fire department, emergency responders, paramedics, cleanup contractors, all the brave volunteers as well. Hang on, let me just mute this very quickly. All right, so everyone that was involved, to everyone in your memory, let's give ourselves 30 seconds of a silence, and let's just remember. All right, guys, thank you so much for participating in that. You know, our thoughts, prayers, and love and positive vibes go out to everyone affected by this. You know, gone but not forgotten. So let's move forward with the morning market update today. In California yesterday, lawmakers approved a bill for companies like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash, all right, to treat their contract workers as employees. Angela, you're most welcome. This is a really significant shift because when, at the moment, all Uber drivers, DoorDash, all these part-time employees who work their own flexible schedules actually considered as contractors. So contractors don't get benefits and all the benefits of salaried employees. It's forecasted to raise the cost of companies for as much as 30%. All right, so companies like Uber will probably feel the pinch today. The bill is known as Assembly Bill 5. It's going to influence other states as well. New York had similar legislation, and Washington State and Oregon are also going to start to think about this. They already have a bill, but it's going to have renewed drive to pass this bill through. So I think it's a push and pressure on these companies with more of the shared economy going on, as contractors are going to be deemed to be employees. It's going to significantly raise costs, and it'll be interesting to see how this industry develops. So that's one of the news items. Another one this morning, futures are finding their way higher as China exempted 16 products from the U.S. from tariffs ahead of trade talks planned for next month. We still don't have a date of when the trade talk will be, but the exemptions include whey, fish meal, all right, which is animal feed, and lubricants and other products that are not really massive exports of the U.S. to begin with, but it is a conciliatory tone rather, and this is more conducive of a productive conversation. It's a sign China is willing to negotiate and move forward. This is putting a little bit of a bid into the markets. Optimism is back. All right. In addition to that, tomorrow morning, there's high hopes for the ECB, Mario Draghi is president of the European Central Bank, to launch a new round of stimulus. There's been a lot of talk leading up to this event. A lot of different ECB members have shared their opinions leading up to this event, and tomorrow is the big day. All right, so that's happening in the morning. And then the Fed is having their meeting next week, September 17th. It starts on the 18th. They're going to likely announce a one-cut interest rate policy, 25 basis points. And the bets are pretty much off for 2 at this point, but we are expecting a cut next week. All right. To that tone, Donald Trump tweeted this morning. I'll read you the tweet. Said the Federal Reserve should get our interest rates down to 0. right? That's not a misprint. You want zero interest rates or less, negative interest rates. It's called NERP, negative interest rate policy. And we should then start to refinance our debt. Interest costs would be brought way down, that's in caps lock, while at the same time substantially lengthening the term. We have the great currency power and the balance sheet. All right, so what, it's no surprise Donald Trump's been critical of Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve. He's trying to put pressure on them ahead of this Fed meeting next week. And I think this will continue. You're going to continue to see tweets, hear him talking in conferences that he wants lower interest rates. All right. The problem with lower interest rates is that, yes, the debt becomes cheaper. You could refinance and you pretty much party on this high debt load. In the last 15 years or so, we've really been on a really growth cycle fueled by debt. Debt levels have exploded higher. And it's all fine and well as long as you're having the magic word that starts with a G, not George, growth. All right. As long as you get growth, debt can be sustained and paid off cheaper in the future. But it is dangerous. And a lot of countries are already in negative territory. And Japan's a phenomenal case study for that. All right. That's what we're dealing with this morning. We're expecting rate cuts in next week, not this week, but next week. We're expecting the ECB to offer new stimulus. That's a bullish event, and China's lightened the tariffs on 16 products coming in from the U.S., and we're expecting a meeting sometimes in October. We don't have a date yet. We don't know if this meeting will be the meeting to solve all problems. I don't think it will be, but I think it's an important next step. All right, all this translates to some bullish tone to the market. Yesterday, also, John Bolton resigned. It's kind of the equivalent of me telling you, all right, hand me your resignation. You're like, what? I was expecting this. Just hand it to me. So he's kind of been voluntold to resign. He's out. Didn't agree with Trump on a lot of policies. He's a hawk and a big endorser of military action, and I think Trump wants to steer clear of that. He said a lot of times doesn't want to get involved in other countries' affairs unless they have to. All right, so he's gone. A new replacement will be coming in as of next week. That's what Trump said. That could be important for the future of foreign policy. All right, that's where we're at. In terms of today's markets, Japan's up 1%, Hong Kong's up 1.8%, China's down 0.4%, India's up 0.3%, so strong gains in the Asian markets on the back of this tariff de-escalation. In Europe at midday, London's up 1%, Paris is up 0.5%, Frankfurt's up 0.8%. All right, futures in the US, Dow's up 0.1%, S&P's up 0.1%, NASDAQ is flat. Apple shares yesterday had a great rally, and then they were faded right after. That's how these events tend to go. The announcement of their streaming service is really going to put some downside pressure on companies like Disney, Netflix, all right, Hulu, Roku. Somebody had a Roku trade here. I don't want to point them out, but it was a great short trade. They put their hands up. Great time to be short Roku, all right? All these other streaming services are taking a bit of a hit. Why is Apple so important launching streaming services? Think about it. The penetration in the market they have for hardware. I don't have one. This is actually not even a phone. Look, it's an empty case. I'm doing a stream off the phone. But they have access, they have big market share to the mobile headset department. And when they sell it, they're going to give you 1 year free of service. So you're going to be able to add it as a fringe benefit to the purchase of the headset. And that's, a lot of analysts are expecting they're going to start to take over the streaming market because of this. A lot of excitement for Apple, a new revenue source and channel comes on the back of taking market share from other streaming platforms. So that's excitement as well. Crude oil is up 1% today. Now it's getting faded a little bit back down below the overnight lows off of its open. So we're seeing it get hit a little. Gold prices broke below 1,500 for the first time in a long time. Last Sunday in Market Analysis Live, we talked about gold and we thought it was going to be bearish. Yes, it's a massive bull trend, but it's time for the pullback. Right, guys? We learned about pullbacks. The pullback in gold is coming. It was inevitable. Now we just have to find a good level for support and qualify a longer-term trade opportunity there. Bitcoin's down 1.5 to 10,093. On today's economic calendar, we had producer price index PPI that came out at 8:30 in the morning at plus 0.1% versus 0.0. So a little bit of an increase in inflation there. Year over year, 1.8 versus 1.7. Minus food and energy, the inflation was even stronger. All right, so that being said, higher PPI, slightly higher inflation pressure, and the Federal Reserve is cutting rates. Love it. It's a new market dynamic. 10 a.m., we have Atlanta Fed's business inflation expectations. We have the scoop on that report before it comes out because Stephen Box is in Atlanta, and he usually listens in on the meetings through the window. and tweets it live. I'm kidding. We don't have any access early. It's illegal. It's just a joke. But that's at 10 a.m. Wholesale trade at 10 a.m. 10:30 natural gas. Sorry, not natural gas. Crude oil inventories. Today at 10:30, you got an opportunity to make a ton of money in 1 hour of just one day today. Boxy, our good friend from Atlanta, will be running the show for crude oil, and we'll be trading it here in the room with everyone here, all these beautiful people, getting ready for the day. We're doing our pre-market trade zoning, and we're going to take advantage of the volatility, so it's going to be fun. All right, other than that, no real big news. The results of a 24 billion 10-year note auction at 1 p.m., and that's all. All right, there is some bullish tone today. My sentiment is I think we get an early morning fade or a little bit of a push down to some support levels, and we spring off of that and tackle some higher highs and go bullish for the day. All right, watch the mid-morning pullback, I think until about 10:30. You could see some downside pressure and then reverse afterwards. 10:30 is also oil inventory. So there's a lot of opportunity, and we got to go trade. You guys have a great day. Once again, send love, joy, and happiness to all of you, and anyone who was impacted by this by September 11th of 2001. Send you guys all the positive vibes. You guys are in our hearts and in our mind all day today. Take care. Have a great day. Goodbye.